Hi, I found you on YouTube interviewing the creator of the Lorentzian indicator. I was
Justin
wondering, do you
Doherty.
have one more time?
Justin Doherty. We interviewed Justin
Exactly.
Doherty.
Yeah. I was wondering, do you have an indicator that you have compiled that works great in back studies? So I think this is a similar question we had in the chat today, um, where people are asking for advice on profitable strategies.
Mhm.
I wonder, what's your default answer to people when they come to us and ask, give us a strategy
Uh,
that works?
we don't really have a recommended list of strategies or indicators. That is the quest of our customers to find. We are the best out there, however, for helping you automate those strategies once you find one.
And I have opinion about this, and it may be a little bit harsh, but I personally feel like if you're asking that question, I feel like you're on the wrong track. Like just trying to find someone else's strategy blindly and just not put any effort or work into building an edge, it's not going to work. I would rather tell people that up front versus wasting their time and give them false hope. Even if you do find something that does work, it's going to stop working at some point, probably sooner than you think. So you need to understand how it works and why it's not working and when to apply which strategies. And you probably need multiple strategies running, like different strategies in different market conditions.
Yeah.
See, there's two problems with that. Two pushbacks with that answer. One, there's the destiny answer. If you believe in destiny, then it doesn't matter how you get to your winning strategy. You're going to get there. God wants you to be there. And two, there are plenty of people who are diligent and thoughtful and analytical who fail, and a bunch of degens who just YOLO into whatever pops up on their Instagram feed and succeed. And so, look, I only take advice from people with Lambos. That's the only advice I take.
I should rephrase though. Like, I think you can do it. And I think that by doing it, that's like your starting point. Like, that's your path to discover failure. And then from that failure, you have to jump off and try something new. But like, you just have to have proper expectations that, like, it's probably not going to work at all. It might work temporarily, and if it does work temporarily, it's probably going to stop working. So like, you just need to have the right expectations. Otherwise you're just going to be really disappointed. But I say that, like, you can do it and you can find other people's strategies, and that's your starting point to learn, not to just hit the easy button. It should really be about learning.
Understood.
Yeah, I think maybe one thing to add to that is that the vast majority of sort of intraday or tradable strategies out there fit into two categories. They're either mean reversion or they're trend following. So it's probably important that you first understand what kind of strategy you're looking to assemble, and then find indicators and strategies that kind of help you support whatever thesis you have for the market and why this is a particular moment to be entering a trend following strategy. Ultimately, you really want to understand what category this fits into and why the indicator strategy you're working with actually works and is robust and it stands up over time. But it's never as simple as John said, as just picking up a random strategy off the shelf and saying, "Great, go click the automate button and make me money." Unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way.
It's funny how many people, how long it takes perhaps someone to understand that we're really just doing variations of mean reversion and trend following.
Yeah,
So someone goes, "Oh, I'm not doing trend following. What I'm looking for is a turn." Yeah, you're looking for a turn in the trend for a new trend to start. I'm doing it at the beginning. You're doing it at the middle, and or at the end. Someone
yeah,
goes, "Oh no, I'm not doing mean reversion. I'm doing smart money ICT." No, you're doing price structure, and that's mean reversion just the same way. Take a look at your trades that work and don't work. You'll notice that the only ones that work are mean reverting, and that's what it is. And it really boils down to these things, which at first used to depress me until I realized, no, well, now we can actually wrap our head around it. There's not a million different types of ways of fundamentals that I have to learn. It's just like in chess, you understand some of what are the base rules, and now you have infinite variations on that. But
sure.
knowing that the chess rules are there is very comforting.
Right. They're all just different names for the same thing. Like, I like trading reversals, which is just another way to say mean reversion. I look for very, very overbought territories, and I like to short those areas. It's another form of mean reversion. And so, knowing that I'm looking for indicators that help support whether I'm accurately measuring a totally overbought zone. And so it's never just, oh, let me open up the best highest rated mean reversion indicator on TradingView and call it a day. I've got to actually measure this stuff myself and put together my thesis for the market and then measure my own risk against that. After you figure out, it's the risk part. Exactly. Once you figure out a strategy that you think works, then it's risk management. Now you need to think about how you're going to position size, how you're going to manage that risk.
I was telling someone the other day, they were like, there was a specific performance metric they wanted to be higher. And we're going back and forth. And eventually I told them, look, I can make the performance metrics, the numbers show whatever you want, but there'll be another number that's unbelievably abysmal. There'll be some other performance that'll be terrible. So I can give you, 60% return, but you're probably going to have a 98% drawdown. So what are you willing to live with here? And it's getting that through your head and understanding that it's a risk management game is like the thing. That, I mean, how many trading bot sessions episodes have you done, Mike, where people in all different walks, and what it comes down to is how you manage your risk and how you size your position is like everything.
I was just talking to somebody about this recently. I actually think we should stop calling ourselves traders. We should start calling ourselves risk managers. If we stop that thought process of calling ourselves traders, perhaps there'd be a lot less gambling out there, because the idea of being, if you tie your identity to the idea of being a risk manager, then you're looking at a completely different set of metrics. You're thinking about, how much risk do I currently have exposed in the market? What's my position size? What's my potential for ruin? What's my max drawdown potential today? I mean, if you flip your thinking to managing risk, I really think that there's a lot more opportunity for you to lose a lot less money, but potentially make a lot more in the long run.
There's a feature I really want to add to TradersPost, that basically we can have like an open risk amount, and it'll basically be all your open positions, and then also look at all your open orders for exits, and basically the difference between the current market price and those stop loss orders is your open risk. There's a few guys that have asked for that. Like, I don't think any of the TradeZilla or any of those analytics tools have features like that. It's more like post trade analysis. This is more just like, I want to see, like, if I get stopped out on all my open positions right now, how much will I lose?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things we could measure, and even have some emergency switches too, where you could have a global max drawdown parameter that would allow you to, same advice for dating. Always manage risk. That it's not about just dating. You gotta be a risk manager in the dating world. No, some kind of a global setting for max drawdown could be another thing to explore, because I think that's an area where people just need to learn to pull the plug when they're up against considerable risk. Beyond that, especially in futures, I look at specifically my leverage ratio. What's the amount of capital I have in my account, and what is the notional exposure I have with all of my futures contracts? If my leverage ratio goes above 2 or 3, I'm already in the danger zone, and you can get pretty high. I mean, you can trade 3 or 4 NQ contracts on a $10,000 account, and your leverage ratio is way, you're at 50x leverage at that point. So I think that's an important factor. We could probably do some measurements like that too, where we start calculating the notional value of the futures contracts that you're holding, and start to give you some implicit risk metrics as well. But that's something we'll consider down the road.
Guys, this is what I need. All right. What you guys are saying all sounds perfectly reasonable. But what I need is for my interface to give me incorrect information, because the more I'm losing, the better I manage my positions. And the more profit I think that I have, the worse I do. So if you can make it some RNG thing that makes it look like I'm doing really on the edge of okay, then I'll be great.
If we just incorrectly report to you that you have a 98% drawdown in your account, you'd be like, great, then I can walk away from my desk. I already lost it all.
That's exactly right. It'll feel like when when I moved out when I was 19, and my mom said, well, here's all the money you paid in rent. I was like, what? Well, yeah, I saved it for you, because I would never have saved it on my own.
Wait, she really did that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh, I was very upset, because I would rather not have paid the rent, but whatever.